Hello, yo. In this video, we are going to discuss about nature-inspired computing techniques. So this is an elective that is there in SRM University syllabus for third year students. So this is an elective subject. So here, the title is nature-inspired computing technique. So that actually means we are going to get the inspiration from nature and develop some computing techniques out of it. Okay, so one example I can give is like the pattern recognition system, like face recognition. Like when a human look into a person, like our eyes actually takes the sense. Okay, we look into a person and that information is passed to the brain, and like it is going to compare with the existing patterns, and it is going to say this person is the one who is standing in front of you. Okay, and this everything happens in a fraction of second. So that is how our neural system works. So we are going to take the inspiration of our neural system and develop an artificial neural system that is going to do the same. Okay, like in artificially we are going to develop a computing technique that is used for pattern recognition or a face recognition system. So that is one example I can give. We'll be seeing about it. Like, so this subject, it is going to give an introduction about the different techniques that are involved in the nature inspired, like different techniques that are developed based on the inspiration that is taken from nature. So we are going to look into the nature in detail, get the details, and we try to develop an artificial life or develop a computing techniques out of it. So that is all about the subject, and this is split into three portion of it. So first part, like there are three branches of nature inspired computing. So first branch, it actually deals with the computing techniques inspired by nature. Computing inspired by nature. So by looking into the nature, we are going to analyze the working mechanism of nature, and we develop a real-time solution for some problems, like for problem solving techniques are developed. That is computing inspired by nature. And next one is simulation and emulation of nature. So this is a place like where we are going to simulate. Okay, we are going to create a new artificial life out of it. Okay, one example is our virtual reality, our we have animation, cartoons and all, right? So those are developed based on the inspiration that are taken from the natural system. So we just analyze how does the nature works and we create an artificial life out of it. And the last part is very interesting and still in development. So that is called computing with natural materials. So this is a case like we are going to use the natural materials to work for us. Okay, develop some programming thing with the natural materials. Okay, so we'll see one by one, and there are many parts inside it. So first step, we are going to start with computing inspired by nature. So as I said, computing inspired by nature is we are going to look into the nature, analyze it, and get an inspiration, develop a new problem solving algorithms. And there are four algorithms actually, like there are n number of algorithms, and we are going to focus on these four algorithms as of now. So first one is a very interesting one that is called evolutionary algorithm. So evolutionary algorithm actually deals with, it is based on the Darwin's theory. So it actually says that each and every generation evolves, the resultant solution is better than the previous one. Okay, the offsprings are more genetically good than the previous one. Okay, so one inspiration, like one example I can give is using a mosquito. Okay, so initially, whenever you have a allowed or something, the mosquitoes died then and there. But now, when like when the recent years, the mosquitoes tends to develop an immunity that overcomes these chemicals. Okay, so it sustains even with the, like it is able to live even you don't have any what to say, with these chemicals too. Okay, so that is called evolutionary computing. Like the resultant generations are better than the previous one. So in this case, what happened? Like that is like whatever the individual is best. Okay, so based on the environmental changes, it tends to adapt itself and it tries to overcome it and it fits into it. Okay, so the fittest individuals are taken for the next generation. So the resultant generations are better than the previous one. So that is the inspiration that is taken for this evolutionary computing. And these are the steps actually followed. Here, the algorithm that is developed is called genetic algorithm. So in this place, First, out of the existing n number of solutions, we are going to choose some portion of solutions alone. So this actually helps for optimization problem. When you have so much of solution, we want to choose the best solution. Okay, so this is the place where this algorithm work. And here, first step is natural selection. You select some set of individuals and try to do crossover mutation, and it will form some other extra solutions, and we are going to evaluate the solution. So here, according to this, the resultant solution has a better value than the existing one. Okay, so we'll be seeing about this genetic algorithm in detail in the next forthcoming videos. Now you just have an introduction alone. So evolutionary computing, it is based on the inspiration that is taken from evolution of an organism. Okay, so the next one is artificial neural network. As I said in the first, this is based on the inspiration that is taken from the neural networks. Okay, our neural system, how does the neurons are connected, and how does our neurons are able to remember some patterns and all. So based on this neural network, artificial neural network is developed, and this is very really used for pattern recognition systems. Okay, so this is an example. And next one is swarm intelligence. This is one important and one different approach where swarm intelligence, the inspiration is taken from some group of individuals that lives together. Okay, so when you consider a single individual, it doesn't have that much meaning. But when they live together, they will achieve some goals. Like ants living together, they tends to get a food and tries to follow the same path. When one ant it can get a food, it will inform the remaining ants. So everything goes into the same straight line. Okay, have you ever noted that, like when an ant goes to take a food, it goes into the same path and come back into the same path. So that is ant. And bee colony. Okay, and a group of fish living together. So based on the individuals together living together, okay, collective individuals living together, the inspiration is taken, and this is used for developing some cellular robotic systems and all. Okay, so here some group of small individuals or small robots are used to solve some problems. Okay, that is called swarm intelligence. And the last one is artificial immune system. Artificial immune system is based on the inspiration that is taken from our immune network. So whenever bacteria or virus attacks our body tends to react itself and overcome from that. Okay, so that is called immune system. So similarly, this inspiration is taken and that is used for networking structure. So whenever a virus attacks a system, the system tends to detect the virus attack based on its behavior and it reacts to it. So that is artificial immune system. So these are all the techniques that we are going to see in computing inspired by nature, the first branch. And the second branch of nature inspired computing is simulation and emulation of nature in computing. So simulation and emulation. So we are going to simulate and emulate the natural system. Okay, so here it has two branches. One is fractal geometry and next one is artificial life. So fractal geometry is like developing a system like this. Okay, so a few portion is developed and that is called iterated again and again to create a structure. Okay, so this is a mathematical formula and that is called fractal geometry. Like you have L factors and all. And next one is artificial life. Artificial life, as I told you, like we are going to look into the natural working system and develop a life out of it. Okay, so we are going to start with life as it is and we are going to create a life out of it. Okay, and like this helps in all your animation, movies, virtual reality structures and all. Okay, so this is the second branch where you're going to simulate and emulate the nature. And the last branch is computing with natural material. So here we are going to use the natural material for computing process. And out of this, first branch is DNA computing. So DNA computing, here the DNA molecules are used to solve the problems. Like you have a programming language that is specific for this, like we call it as molecular computing too. Okay, so like a test tube programming language or a DNA programming language is there. So where the manipulation is done using DNAs. Okay, change the protein structure of DNA, and it is conducted in a laboratory, and that will find a solution for itself. And similarly, the next branch is called quantum computing or quantum mechanics. So here, the atoms and what is it? Energy levels are used for computing. Okay, so instead of computing with zeros and ones, here the quantum computing is going to compute with uh, the pointer values. Okay, so that is the next branch. So these are the three different branches of nature inspired computing techniques. So we'll be seeing about each and every technique in detail, okay, in the forthcoming videos. Thank you.